What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fortnite Live. I am not Walter White. I am Will Kinsler. You can call me Ragzilla. Joined by some of my friends on the Fortnite team. This week we've got Grant Schonkweiler, producer, with us. How's it going, Grant?
It's going great.
And as always, our Fortnite community team, KL and Natalie.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So, Grant, I know I told you earlier today that you were going to be on here to talk about rugby.
Yeah.
That's actually not true.
Oh, what? Okay.
So I know you came dressed for that.
For success.
Mentally prepared for that.
Yeah.
But since you're a producer on Fortnite, I was hoping that we could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I like Fortnite. It's pretty amazing. So I
Okay.
can do that.
So for the last 2 weeks now, we've been in the middle of online test 3.
Mm-hmm.
People have been in. They've been playing the game. How's that going for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I've been playing as much as I can with the community. Been seeing the amazing bases and forts that people are building. Checking out the incredible work of guys like Master Sergeant Fox and Decoy of being in the global chat and helping people out, watching new people learn how to do different and creative things. And then, of course, I've been able to do some pretty awesome things. I've got pretty lucky, rolled a couple legendaries.
What?
And been able to build those. So I just kind of walk around with my rocket sledge, and I just walk up to random people, and I'm like, hey, check this out. You can get this, too, in a card pack if you're lucky. And they're like, how'd you get that? And I was like, I got lucky. So it's been a lot of fun, just leveling up. I've been playing the Outlander mostly. But also dipping into a little bit of Ninja and stuff like that.
Yeah. So last week we had Kale and Natalie. They kind of competed. I know you watched the stream last week.
Yeah.
They competed a little bit. We did a 2-gate capture. They played together but separately to see who could come up with a better fort. Natalie won by like 2 votes. It was super close. How are you guys doing? Are you okay? Are you able to be around each other?
I mean,
He
there's
moved his
some
entire
space.
desk away from me. It's just gone.
Oh,
True story.
Gone.
Well, so there's a saying, Kale, and that's right. Like, if you can't beat someone, join them. So this week we're gonna have you guys play together on the same team, if that's okay with you.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how things go.
You do understand if she loses, you lose,
I lose.
right?
I mean, maybe I'm planning on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
I've been a little bit worried about this because I told them like a couple days ago, like, you guys are gonna play together this time, and they're like, oh, okay.
I was like, why?
I mean, clearly, once we get to this,
We can do that. Okay, so
the wheel.
Okay, so you guys are gonna play together.
She's
But here's the
sabotaged.
thing. This is what I noticed last week is that like even with you guys playing kind of separately, you did too well, right? And so we're gonna make it a little tougher on you. We're gonna do a higher threat level. Probably see some even crazier husks, and we're gonna make it even more complicated because we're bringing back the spin wheel.
Right.
So I'm gonna talk about that for a second while you guys get ready to head over and play. So the spin wheel we introduced last week. It's back. Actually, this is not the same spin wheel.
New and improved.
I don't want to tell a lie, because KL has a spin wheel, and we actually borrowed his last week. And it's almost like how when you're a kid and you have a goldfish and it dies and your parents don't tell you, and they get one that's like exactly the same,
But a little bit better.
It's not like that at all. Actually, they're exactly the same spin wheel. But so what we're gonna do is last week we only spun it one time at the very beginning. This week we're going to give the power to Grant. He's going to be able to spin it any time during gameplay, and there's a bunch of interesting stuff on there, like, for example, some of the things are going to affect them inside the game, like they may have to slash dance at any point.
You mean affect
there
me?
Yeah, there are some things. Yeah, there are some things because we let Natalie choose this week since she won the competition. Some of the things on the wheel, quite a few of them actually will affect KL. We have some outfit changes that he's going to have to potentially go through. He may have to wear an umbrella hat. He may have to wear these tiny sunglasses that make it really hard for him to see. He may have to wiggle. We've seen him do that before on
Fortnite
Fortnite Live, so we know that he can do that. I actually don't think that would bother him that much. They may be required to give us a fireworks show in the game. There's a bunch of stuff that they're going to have to do. So we're going to jump into gameplay right now. We've got KL and Natalie playing on the same team, we think. Joined by a couple of our QA folks, Will and Holly, going to be helping them out. And so here we go. We're ready to check it out. What do you think? Should we spin right away? Like at least try it out.
I got to see if it works. So
And we got a slash dance already. So everybody's going to have to stop.
Let's
See
get
some
together.
slash dancing.
Let's see
We
it.
gotta get together.
Let's see it.
Where's everyone at?
Get together like a
Now they
boy
can't even
band.
find each other. See, they weren't prepared for this.
Ready to dance.
while
Constructor's
we're-
running as fast as he can in little legs.
There we go. Natalie's got it going.
Oh
All
yeah.
together. A little bit of teamwork. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, so we're looking at. Oh, and she's like, I'm not even gonna wait for the fireworks on this one. Will. She just fire one off. So what is that's like a firecracker gun?
Yeah.
Right? That's like a new thing, right?
Yeah, so it's a firework gun, and it has a little bit of arc and bounce to it, and the explosion is actually what does the damage. So it's kind of a really cool gun to use like down into a hallway or kind of at distance, and it's kind of like a take on a grenade launcher, but better because it's the fireworks and it's much more Fortnite-y, right? We do of course have grenade launchers as well, but this is more of an individual weapon against one or two guys or a small group of Husks, as opposed to a grenade launcher, which is more of take down a building or something like that.
Yep. Now, since this is a little bit tougher, threat level than we had last week, we've given them some resources. You can see Natalie's already got a bunch of resources there. Have you guys, KL and Natalie, talked at all about a plan of how you're going to do this? Because this is 3 gates. This is not 2 last week. It's 3. It's going to be a bit tougher.
Very loosely.
Yeah, Natalie gave me her idea for what she wanted to kind of do for perimeter. We haven't discussed what these gates are going to look like in terms of defenses, but I at least have a general idea of what she wants on the outside. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still kind of building for the cool style factor, but because it's a little bit more difficult, I have to be kind of smart about it.
I was going to say, that burned you a little bit last week, it felt like.
No.
You talked about how you were going to make the cool fort, and it worked pretty well, but it didn't work well enough.
What do you mean?
It's kind of like the newest season of
No,
True Detective.
was-
It's a lot of style and no substance.
There was
Shots fired.
There was no damage to my Atlas.
All right, that's true. You guys did really well on your separate teams. Let's take a look at what Kale's doing right now. So walk me through this, Kale. What's the first thing that you're gonna look to do?
All right, so the very first thing that I did was actually place the base down in order to get ready for this onslaught. We're going to be getting hit from the basically the south, well, I say the west. So it kind of spans this whole entire area that I'm kind of looking out. So I wanted to put the base in a spot that is going to help us kind of defend the outer gate. And we're going to build a Coliseum. Is that correct?
Yes.
A
The Coliseum of
Coliseum
Doom.
on the perimeter, where we're going to have probably a structure that goes pretty high, and we're going to rain down on the poor, helpless Husks.
That sounds pretty good. So
I like the name.
I could kind of hear in your voice, Kale, that it sounded like you weren't sure if you were going to build a Coliseum.
Or if it
Well,
would be doomy.
Where did that come from?
That was Natalie's idea that I kind of walked into.
You walked into it, you
It's
stumbled
like,
upon
this is
it.
what
Yeah.
happened. We've got like reluctant
It sounds like
teammates.
she was trying to convince everyone that the Coliseum was the
Nobody
right
offered
idea.
up a better idea.
Well,
I'm
no
just going
one-
to say, I was
I-
the
I-
most prepared.
I think everyone was kind of shocked that you said you wanted a Coliseum. It's fine.
I feel like it's time to spin again.
Yep, let's go for it. What do we got? Oh,
Natalie
where's
wears
the
the
helmet?
helmet.
See,
Awesome.
she's
She
building
wanted
a
this
Coliseum.
helmet. She wanted the
Yes.
helmet for the
I
Coliseum.
feel like there's a theme now.
Yes.
So how does this help you, Natalie? Does this help you put you in like the right frame of mind that you need to be
Yes,
able
it
to?
instills me with confidence and strength that I need.
Wow, I'm gonna start wearing that
I already
hat.
feel more powerful. Just a little feather action on my head there. Alright.
Oh man. So it's interesting though, Grant, because a lot of times you'll go in there, you're playing with people, you got a team of 4, right? And there's like that moment. Now I usually try to defer because I play as a ninja to whoever the constructor is, because I assume that person wants to build. But it's like, how do you do that? Tell me about the Fortnite etiquette of like, hey, I show up into a match, like who's
owning it? Yeah.
Who's gonna decide?
I mean, I usually am the same way. I kind of defer to the constructor. I like to play Outlander. I've been playing Outlander a lot. So what I tend to do is go gather a bunch of resources, use the marker, drop a little thing that just says resource dump, and then tell the constructor, here's what if you need anything, it's here. But a lot of times people want assistance. They don't want to do all the building on their own. So, I usually ask. It's pretty simple. Just ask in chat, hey, do you want help? Or are you going to do the building? Now, I find if I go into a match and it's just me and one other person or another Outlander or a ninja or something, I just kind of go, hey, I'm going to start building something. And then we just kind of go random. If there's a constructor, I feel like it's always much more planned because it's one person kind of has an idea. If it's not, it's just kind of a lot of chaos and it somehow magically works.
Sometimes that can be interesting too, right? Where you've got like, you have people on team. It's like, oh, they start building something. It's like, oh, that's not exactly what I would have expected. But here, let me add my little bit of flavor to that.
Yeah, and that's part of the coolness of it, right? Is one person can kind of build what they think is interesting, and then you can kind of build on that. I saw yesterday a double pyramid. So somebody built a pyramid similar to what Kale's building here, and then somebody built a bigger pyramid above it. So it was like a pyramid floating above a pyramid. It was pretty cool. And I expected somebody's reaction to be like, hey, why are you messing with my design? But really it was like, oh, that's cool. And so that everybody kind of started contributing to it.
Yeah, because that's what I find too is, right, like if I'm playing and I'm in there with the constructor, like there's some people, it's like, like when somebody knows what they want to build, right? And you're just kind of like, that's good.
You got it, buddy.
Let me help you. Let me help you figure out how to do that. So they're putting up to something together.
Wow.
Really quickly.
This is huge.
Okay, so I was gonna say this doesn't look anything like Coliseum, but I actually see some arches on the outside. So it's like I don't know what is the technical requirement of a Coliseum?
Get that Tuscan feel, that Roman feel. A lot of death in the center. I think a crowd of booers, which I guess that would be you and I, or if you use the home run bat, the slugger, the forceful slugger, it actually makes a cheering sound when you hit people. So that like takes your Coliseum to the next level of Coliseumness. But yeah, it's funny because I always tell somebody that when you build those columns with brick, it's very Tuscan, very Fresca kind of this look. I feel like I'm in Italy. It's quite beautiful.
Let's take a look and see what Natalie is up to right now. I see Kale's kind of working on his little pyramid pieces there. Let's take a look and see what is going on. So
place my next stairs.
Where are we at? Okay, so you guys are building multi-level structure here.
Where is this going?
Coliseum of Doom.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be. The Doom isn't here yet. I've got a lot of traps that I'm thinking of adding. I'm trying to get the form here.
Not quite doomy.
Yeah, we'll get there. Right now, I just want pretty. I felt like my fort last time was lacking a little bit of the beautifulness of Kale's fort.
Oh.
I'm going to give you a few
The truth comes out.
Don't worry.
Voters.
Voters.
For
posterity.
Voters. How do you feel about that right now?
But I feel like that's why I took inspiration from, something that was also functional and beautiful from history. So there you go.
I think we should spin the wheel again.
Yeah, it's
That's what I'm
time.
thinking.
Come on.
And
Fireworks show.
Fireworks show on top of the Coliseum. Can we make this happen?
Party on the Coliseum.
I'm up top, so let's go.
Usually you don't celebrate until after you win.
Yeah, or somebody hits a home
near
run.
the end. Yeah, but here we are.
I have some other kind of fireworks. Let me see. We got these, and we've got these bottle rockets.
Oh, the bottle rockets.
Yes.
I'm a fan of the bottle rockets.
Or more of
These, like,
those.
Nice.
And these guys.
The cool thing about the fireworks show, right, is like these look cool, but they're also like functional, right? So
Yeah,
you can,
they're
you know,
deadly.
you have the pistol, which is shooting rockets and can damage people. You have the bottle rockets, which kind of do an AOE
Yep.
area, a really cool area of denial. I like to run in and throw them down, or a bunch of husks kind of trapped on a wall. And then you know, you have the M80s, which are kind of mini grenades, which I find myself using all the time, kind of. In that desperation moment,
Yep.
I usually am screaming at the same time.
when they're
of
all up
throwing
on
them.
the wall, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
You're just throwing as fast as you can.
so, you know, I mean, obviously with the style of Fortnite, it kind of lends itself to being able to have all kind of crazy gadgets,
Mhm.
weapons, and stuff like that. Have you talked to somebody on the team and been like, "There's this thing I need for you to make for me"? Like, what's your dream like crazy Fortnite weapon?
Well, you know, I really like functional, but I also like cool. You know, the fireworks thing was something I was really excited about. I'm a big fan of flamethrowers. We don't have any flamethrowers in the game yet. But you can be set on fire by flaming husks, right? So if you can be set on fire, I'm pretty sure we can set them on fire. So you know, some sort of flamethrower. My personal dream now, thanks to Mad Max Fury Road, is a guitar flamethrower. I mean, I really want a guitar flamethrower in the game. You know, you like when you fire it up, it's like meow, do 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 do, and you're like flamethrowing. So that's my new kind of dream one. Do you have a dream one?
I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, I play so much as the ninja. I feel like I need some kind of other cool melee weapon, but I'm not exactly sure what it should be.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, something completely ridiculous. something that you wouldn't think to hit somebody
More
with.
metal.
Maybe
more than a stop sign axe?
maybe like a really really sharp piece of
There's
paper.
tons of
Right? Like, you know, Husk
And I
paper
have
cuts,
all
you
the
know.
metals.
I feel like once a
All
couple
the
of them
metals.
you know get hit with the paper cut, the rest of them will just turn around and go back. Like, please stop.
It is pretty true though. Could you imagine like a blade with that instead of a blade is a
Thank you.
paper? So it looks like a katana, but it's just
You
a
have enough?
paper
Yep.
blade.
Like a paper sword.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it hurts a lot when you get a paper cut, and you're kind of like not like instant death, but you're kind of like, I'm gonna die. I want to
Yeah.
die. And then someone
Yeah,
puts
I
lemon
don't-
juice on it.
Wow.
Take it to the next level.
We want to hurt the husks, and we also want to make them feel bad for what
Yeah.
they're doing, reconsider.
Is this? Are you sure this is what you want to do? So I
Me?
like kind of the different. We got different styles here. We got the metal portion, kind of in the more intense area, the direct side of combat, and then the brick on the other side. You got your little sniper perches up here. I always like to be like raining doom down, so you're kind of shooting from up there, and then you're just like, oh, too many guys, and you just jump down with a sword. And I've been using the claymore a lot, and the claymore just you know, I'm related to William Wallace, so I get that, you know, the ancestral feel
Wow.
in there. So yeah.
Wow. I didn't know it was so personal.
It
for
is.
you.
It's very personal. Very personal to be. I invest a
Hey,
lot in this game.
You know what happened to that guy, right?
Yeah, he, you know, he's not one of my, you know, he didn't end up like all my uncles, you know.
All right. So now that you told me before the stream, Outlander, that's like your class.
It is,
Natalie's playing
yeah.
as Outlander. Like, what do I need to know?
So the Outlander, the thing that I love about the Outlander is you're kind of a support class, but you're really good at you know, just about everything. So the way I play the Outlander and the way most people play the Outlander is by using the Outlander fragments, which you can find in beacons in the world as buffs or debuffs. So you have the attack one, which what it does is it does 250 damage in a big AoE burst attack. And so
Right.
you can take out basically all level 1 husks in one go. And then it puts up a debuff zone for them, which increases damage, I think, by 25 or so percent in that area. And then there's also one that can provide shields, and it puts a fragile shield on everybody within an area, and so you take less damage for a while. And then there is, of course, the all-time favorite, the loot llama, or as some people call it, the impact alpaca,
Okay.
which is the
Can
holy
we-
war. The
can
holy
we-
war.
Can we get in, you know, your official position?
My
on-
official position is the loot llama. That's my personal position. But this is the holy war of. It's like it's like GIF versus GIF. Okay, there's a lot of there's a lot of arguing
Well,
going on
so
here.
I mean, so you're for Loot Llama, but I mean, I want to hear your rationale. Like, explain.
It's easier to say than impact alpaca.
Yeah.
And it's a llama, but it is an alpaca. They're the same thing. So I like Loot Llama more than impact alpaca. Plus, I really dig that alliteration there. It's pretty tight. So
Yeah, we did a little bit of research yesterday on,
Okay,
on the difference
okay.
between alpaca.
They're different.
And
Okay.
llamas. Yeah, like apparently, llamas are a little more aggressive and
They spit.
assertive. Yeah, alpacas are kind of passive, and they're not maybe not as tough.
The impact
I think
alpaca is
I
pretty.
think their ears are different. It turns out our llama or alpaca has more like robot ears, so that actually didn't really help.
He is
us.
a robot, so
So I don't know, because on one hand, it's kind of passive, like it just sits there while you smash
Yeah.
it.
Ow, ow.
But Loot Llama does kind of sound better. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out at some point. We're gonna have to actually make a decision about
we will
it.
make a decision. The other thing I love about the Outlander is some of the awesome buffs that you get as you're a later class. Obviously, the device, which is basically, it's a grenade. You just run up and you blow up anything and get all of its resources. Allows you to gather resources super fast. There's another one ability that you basically throw out a device and it goes and it grows, and then it sucks in all of the things that you could loot in that area. So what I do is I run by a house and I just throw it in, and then I run off to another house, and all of a sudden I get all these things following me. So you're gathering lots of resources, and you can help the team that way. But there's other cool buffs, like you can move faster on player-built walls or player-built floors.
Right.
So what I tend to do is, you'll see my floors all around the world from beacon to beacon,
Right.
so that during the encounter I can run to a beacon and grab it really fast and come back.
So you mentioned the being able to throw something down and grab all the loot. Like, what's the coolest thing you found? So you can build obviously build weapons and
Yeah.
traps with with schematics, but you can also find stuff. Like,
Mhm.
what do you think is so far the greatest thing that you
Well, I found the stop sign axe the other day, and that was pretty awesome. I love the stop
I
sign
haven't
axe.
found that yet.
It looks super cool. It plays really cool. And it was a really high level, so that was cool. Obviously, anytime I find a rocket launcher, grenade launcher, that's super cool, because you can do lots of damage. And what I actually really like to do with the grenade launcher is not use it during combat. I like to use it during harvesting phase,
resources.
because you can just blow up a building in one shot or two shots. So that's really cool. Space pistol. Found a space pistol the other day. That was really cool. So yeah, I mean, I tend to find really cool things, and then I really want those cool things more.
Yeah.
And so then I'll continue to kind of spin and hope that I get good things in the card packs. And I've been lucky to get some, like I got a rocket sledge the other day, which was super cool.
Yeah, and that's always awesome, because then if you got schematic, you make it for yourself, but you can also give it to the other people on your team.
Yeah, I guess, if you want to be nice.
We're trying.
No, I do have a really sweet katana schematic that I tend to build for anybody
I was gonna
that's
say,
in the game.
it seems like nobody here wants to work together.
Look, a lot of people think of coopetition, right? But it really is a great cooperative game.
Coopetition.
There's a little bit of coopetition. There's a scoreboard at the end, but ultimately you're getting experience and things at the end of the game, not based on your score, but based on the score of the entire team, right?
Sure.
So yeah, you can. There's a little bit of bragging. You can be like, well, I got the highest score of the whole team, so I contributed a little more.
Yes.
But you can kind of see.
Don't know
It's all about the
Llama
team.
right now. Oh man, I wonder if there's
You
a
can go
Loot Llama
find one.
here.
A
There's
loot
probably one
llama,
around.
yeah. Let's go see if we can grab one.
All right, you
while
guys
while
make
she's
sure
looking
there's
for
lots of
that,
traps.
let's switch and take a look at Kale real quick. Are you? So I noticed, Kale.
Yeah.
You guys' fort is like really big.
Real big.
It is
it's
really big.
it's massive. Are you at all concerned about like this being a lot of ground to cover at the point where you guys have to actually
Well,
capture the gate?
Here's what I've done. So
He's getting real technical.
there's the top portion, which I am moderately concerned about, but I actually interconnected all of these so that it's like a tunnel system. So if
Oh, wow.
anything gets on the inside, you can drop down. You don't really have to worry about getting damaged too much. I have to clean up this wall and this wall, But you can get to either gate. You can actually see them here. And then you can actually walk on top of this platform. Oops, let's go on this side. And you can walk, so if you get anything that falls down underneath, you can basically sit right here, and you can shoot all 3 spots from this position. So I kind of thought about it a little bit. So this is a way for me at least to cover all 3 zones on the top portion. And then if anything gets down underneath, I'm kind of protected, and I'm hoping that Natalie will be able to help me out since she wanted to do this big, huge coliseum. That while I'm defending things underneath, she'll be able to cover outside so that we don't have to worry about anything up there. So, yeah, I've kind of thought about it a little bit. I'm not too concerned yet.
It's a pretty good 3-gate spawn too, where you can actually see all of them
Yeah,
right
they're
next to
pretty-
each other.
yeah,
There's
pretty-
no floating
They're
gate.
pretty close together, right? It's not always the case, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be elevated and stuff like that. So they actually have no excuse, right? They're
And-
right
Yeah,
there.
and they're on flat terrain too, right? So it's much easier to defend than say crazy terrain that's going up and down, and you have to go upstairs to defend and downstairs and stuff like that. So I'm feeling good about the chances. Oh, what do we
Have
got
a loot
here?
llama whenever we're ready.
All right, let's.
Do you want to meet behind the base?
Yeah.
Behind the Coliseum.
I like what Kale did here with the traps. Let's look at this real quick. So you have these launch pads, right?
Launch them into the.
And what it does is it'll launch them out, and then they have to go over the traps again. So super cool design there. Plus it looks good too. So good job, Kale. Style and substance.
Exactly.
Season 100 detective.
all the references. He brought all the references with him
Okay,
today.
I see
Over
it.
here in the
All right,
back.
let's see what
see
this
this
is
loot
all
llama.
about. Throw it down.
He's so sad.
And there he goes. Woo!
We salute you, Loot Llama. Fireworks salute.
Got
Oh, there's some
all
duct
the-
tape there.
All the things now.
The cool thing about the loot llama is, if one person hits it, you're probably going to get mostly wood. It has a health bar, but it also has a duration bar. So if you can actually get through that health bar faster, so the more people hitting it, the better stuff you're going to get. So you're going to get more metal. You're going to get things like duct tape and other resources. Whereas if it's just one person hitting it, you're probably going to get wood, maybe
More
some
metal.
planks.
I need
So-
more metal.
Does anybody have extra floor traps to fill out this back half here of our base?
I want all the metal.
Now, I don't know what materials you guys have right now, but one thing I don't see, Kale, and you know that I love them, is
Turrets?
is the sentries. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the sentries. Yeah, so great.
Yeah, I keep finding myself, it's like in OT3 I'll go in and I just try to get like the copper ore because that's like the hardest thing that you need to find to
Yep.
get to sentries. And so I spent like several hexes doing that until I had like 50 copper ore. And then I would just go in and play and put down like 10, 15 sentries every time. It's just, I don't know. That's like my thing that I do.
It feels really cool to either have a sentry or another player kind of like shooting over your shoulder,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're in the midst of it, swinging your sword or whatever, and there's just bullets flying over your head.
That's
Super
probably
cool.
what it is. It's because I play as the ninja, right? And
Right,
so it's
yeah.
like, yeah.
You're in close counters. and
Exactly.
They got your back.
All right, I think we should spin that
Spin.
wheel. Do it. Yep.
Really hoping for the tiny glasses.
Slash
dance again. I'm gonna spin it again.
Disappointed.
I'm gonna spin
yeah.
it again.
Spin it one more.
They can dance, but I'm gonna spin it again.
Spin it, spin it, spin it. And
Oh, it wants
what
to
in the
dance.
world?
We gotta
Oh.
dance. People, let's dance.
Oh, yes, tiny
Kale's
sunglasses.
got to put on the tiny sunglasses, so he's
This-
not going to be able to see, which will make it.
He has to take off his real glasses
little bit-
and put on the tiny sunglasses just for a minute, though.
Yeah, there you go. See? It's not so bad. You don't need to be able to know what you're doing.
I can't see my mouse right now.
We
Yeah.
You don't need to be able to see your mouse, just the game.
Now that we have obstructed him, let's see what he builds.
He's
He's
gonna,
like upgrading.
He's just gonna keep upgrading everything. He's not gonna move.
All right, I'm gonna time this. I'm not gonna make him do this forever. 1 minute, KL. That's like he's like in the penalty box right
We-
now.
It's only
basically.
fair if he has to wear it during combat.
Well,
We believe in you.
I don't know if you want him to wear it during
Yeah.
combat.
When there's 3 smashers, I'm really hoping for some elemental smashers. Have you seen any of them during OT3 so far?
I haven't seen an elemental smasher. I've seen a lot of different elemental husks, but not a smasher yet.
It's pretty terrifying, to be honest. You're like, you're fighting away and you hear the music play and then the sounds of the smasher, and you look up and there's just a giant lava on fire smasher.
So what is this? What is a smasher for anybody who hasn't?
Oh,
hasn't
if
seen
you
it?
haven't played, the smashers he's a really big enemy, and he smashes things. We like to name things in a very sensible way here, and the way the smasher works is he's a charge enemy, so he'll kind of eye his location and then he'll run towards it. You'll see some of these lower walls here. He'll just go right through them. He doesn't even care. They don't bother him. He just destroys them right away. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to clear a path to the Atlas for the other husks.
Yeah.
So he's going to try and break through as quickly as possible. But if you aggro him, right, if you shoot him a bunch and get his attention, he's going to go for you instead of the gate, right?
Yeah.
And he has a couple different attacks. He has a AOE smash attack where he has this really big arm and he just smashes down and it does a ton of damage in that area. Probably going to kill you in 1 or 2 hits. His charge attack, which will do a lot of damage to you as well, can probably kill you in two hits. If you don't have a lot of health, probably going to kill you in 1. So the Smasher is super powerful enemy, and so we have elemental variants of all of our enemies, and we have fire, ice, and then kind of this electrical version as well, and then some new ones in the works. And so when they're elemental, they're not only doing damage, just base damage, they're doing elemental damage. So if you have a fire smasher, he's going to smash through the base, do an AoE damage, and set everything on fire.
That sounds awful.
It's horrible, but also awesome.
Yeah.
Like for us watching,
Yeah.
it's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
For
seeing
them,
it happen.
horrible.
Well, so I mean, we're playing on a region called Plankerton, right? Which
Yep.
is the second hardest. There's 3 different regions, and it's kind of the medium one that you've got to work your way up to, which is actually still pretty tough.
Yeah.
But they're playing high threat level, so. On there, is there a chance we'll see?
There definitely is a
elemental
chance.
husks?
There's a chance. There's a lot of different factors that are taken into account, and our AI kind of looks at all the different things happening and decides what to send your way to torture you.
I feel like my grandma right now. I have to look up and it's very. It's been a minute.
Oh yeah, I forgot Kale was wearing those. Hey Kale, it's been longer than a minute.
Why did you have
he's
to
like
tell her?
he's like
It's been
nudging me
20
from across the room.
20
He's like,
20 minutes
can
later.
I just take these off now? So you know what I found? I actually came across a weapon. I wish I had the schematic. I don't, so I'm using it sparingly. But a pistol called the Zap Zap.
Oh yeah.
So the Zap Zap's really cool because it has a really slow rate of fire, but crazy high damage. And I have one that's like a level 36 or something
Oh,
like
wow.
that. So it will actually drop a smasher in three shots.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
But I'm gonna be so sad when it's gone. I need that schematic.
Oh yeah. It's all about
and,
finding that schematic now.
So how do the schematics work?
Yeah, so the schematics are our system of building. If Kayla, actually, can you open the crafting menu?
Sure.
So all the things that you see here that he can craft are schematics that he's acquired through card packs or through leveling up. And the cool thing about a schematic is once you have it, you can craft anything using that schematic. You can also level up that schematic, which means its base is a higher level when you're in the world. So you can also see up top next to his crafting, there's a little plus, and that shows you that you're getting a little bit of a boost from the team's home base and the rest of the team in your crafting. So that plus, the level that you have leveled up your schematic is going to get you an even cooler weapon. So if you find an item in the world, it's going to have half damage already, and so you're not going to get a ton of time to use it. And it's going to be like a level whatever based off of the world. But if you have the schematic, you can build it anytime you have the resources, and it starts at full health. And so it has a much longer use on it. And right now, the main way to get schematics is through our card pack system and through leveling up your account.
Gotcha. So you mentioned home base briefly. So that's something we've talked about a little bit on stream, but haven't actually shown it yet. Can you give a sort of a little description of kind of what that is?
Sure. So home base is kind of like, it's kind of your overall character sheet, right? Because you can play as different heroes. You don't necessarily have like a single skill tree. You have their individual skill trees, but then you have a skill tree for all of your heroes and all of the things that they can do.
Right.
And the way that home base works is it's buildings, and so unlocking different buildings gives you different buffs and different things you can do. You can slot workers into those buildings, which increase those buffs, and ultimately all of those buffs add up for every person in your group to give you benefits.
So that's good, because even if Kale and Natalie don't work together at all, they will still benefit from being on the same team.
They're still getting each other's buffs. And the really cool thing about that, right, is if you're really high level and I'm kind of a lower level and you come into my world or into my game, or we decide to play a game together, not only is your higher level hero going to benefit me, but I'm going to get some of your cool buffs as well.
Right.
So it's a really cool system. It's hyper addictive because we have kind of this building aspect and then resource management aspect, and you're kind of always wanting to get more resources to build cooler things. I wonder if there might be a treasure chest in there. Oh, you blew it up. Sometimes there's treasure chests hiding inside of the school buses. But yeah, so everything that you do in zone, like at the end, you'll get things to upgrade your home base, and what you do in your home base then affects what you do in the zone gameplay. So it's a really cool tied together kind of system that we have.
I think we're gonna give you guys maybe 5-7 more minutes. Is that gonna be enough to finish the Coliseum, you think?
Of Doom.
Of Doom, sorry. Whose Doom is it, though? Will it be their Doom, or will it be the Doom of the
Tune in
of the
next
Husk?
time. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be bad, right, if we did a cliffhanger?
Well, guys, that was fun.
Tune in next week to watch us actually use this. Yeah, so what do you think? What are the finishing touches going to look like here? I mean, it feels like you've got an immense amount of traps. I feel
You
like
can never have enough traps.
you can't.
I think we need more of those.
Never have enough traps. Words of wisdom.
I mean,
I just don't know where to put them, so I'm going to leave that up to KO.
What?
More traps.
Yo,
We made all these walls that we can't put traps on, but now we should put more
I
traps.
trapped up all this area.
She's like,
I do
yo, put down some
traps.
traps, and then just like runs off
the
to do
ones all
something.
I'm worried about.
I'm just going to build more arches over here.
Yeah,
They're
what's
so
your
useful.
biggest concern right now?
Mine is this wall here. So I'm thinking about just putting some more metal walls along this side.
Now, when we fire this up here in a few minutes, have you figured out, like, is somebody going to cover a certain area? Like, this seems a lot to manage right here. Remember, you're playing on high threat.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the front lines here with the massive wall of arches and balconies.
I'm
trying
gonna
shoot
need to.
people.
I'm gonna need to stay in my near my base. So I'm gonna be near the front lines pretty much, and then unless someone is unless the Husk is attacking us, I'm not gonna fall back because I need to stay with the buff. I'm getting a speed boost because of the home base or the base I've laid down. So I need to move quickly.
Gotcha.
Does
So-
anybody have any extra floor traps that I can lay up front here? I think we need just a row of those.
What what are you guys? We've given you a bunch of weapons. What are you guys most excited about using? Like, what do you think is going to be your go-to weapon here at the start?
So pretty.
Kale and Natalie.
Oh, that was
Well-
for us.
You're the two playing.
They're so focused.
Yes.
Yeah, I was asking you. We gave you guys a bunch
the
of
space pistol.
weapons. Yeah, what
Mhm.
are? Can we fire that space pistol like inside the?
Yeah,
fort?
go
Inside
in,
the-
go in your fort and watch
okay.
it
You
ricochet.
guys have built this crazy fort. I feel like you should just fire that down there.
I
and
mean,
see
if
what
anything
happens.
gets inside, I'm gonna try to melt them.
I'm a big fan of killing things with firecrackers. I think that's phenomenal.
This space pistol is going to be interesting inside of here just because of how angular it is.
Yeah,
the walls that he built.
How did you do in geometry, KO? 'Cause you're gonna have to use some maths.
And I think I'm gonna primarily use something that doesn't use energy.
Doesn't use math, is what he's saying.
A lot of the weapons that I have right now are energy based, so I'm probably going to build something that's not energy based and then save my energy based weapons for maybe second half of the onslaught that we're about to encounter.
Okay, so I just had a really fun idea. I just put Husk launching traps in the front of our base so that if somebody's standing on these top balconies, maybe they'll just be like husks flying straight up in the air that they can shoot, like
take
a target practice.
Let's take a look at that real quick. So you've built Husk launching traps in the front?
Yes.
Where?
So we've got this massive wall here with the 3 tiers of balconies. So you can go through the archways and shoot off of any of those balconies from inside the fort. So in the front here, we've got like a row of 4 Husk launching traps. So in theory, they'll be flying up and down in the air, and you can just like pop them off from there. So these are the traps.
Even if it doesn't work, it'll probably be pretty cool.
It'll just look cool, and we can make it like a part of the fireworks show.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm just not even going to talk about any of this. It's fine. I'll just let this slide. Okay.
One of the things that is always interesting is what you ask them is like, how are you going to defend and stuff, and obviously not everybody's sitting right next to each other. So one of the tools that I like to use to kind of communicate with people is you can actually mark things.
Right.
Right now it's bound to the M key, but you can put markers down, and I usually mark like this is path 1, this is path 2,
right.
and you can kind of communicate that way, through chat or through a voice chat. Should we do a spin?
Let's do one more spin before we have them fire up the gate.
Come on, KL Wiggle. No, we're not doing that one again. He couldn't see. He couldn't see.
You're just gonna spin until you get what you want, aren't you?
I keeps landing on the same one.
It's like
KL has to jump off a cliff.
wow.
Yay!
All right, let's follow KL as he
takes his
he
mortal journey, sheds his mortal coil.
He's gonna jump. Now last week the same thing happened. We had the same thing on the spin wheel, but in advance KL had built some jump pads so that he could get back there quickly. I don't think he did that this time.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
no strategizing. Luckily it wasn't during combat though, so Natalie said yay, but this does hurt everyone. This is not a...
Well,
It does.
he's jumping right now.
It's not as
right?
bad as if
It doesn't
was
hurt
in the
us
middle of
yet.
if it was in
combat.
the middle of combat,
Yeah.
which is could
Likely to
happen. Because we're gonna spin the wheel some more. All right, we'll get KL back up here. He's back at the fort. No big deal. And what do you think? Are you guys
I
ready?
feel ready.
Any final words or proclamations?
Good luck.
Godspeed.
All right.
Oh yeah, drop
For
those sentry
Sparta.
guns, yeah.
That was all I had.
Oh.
We happy few, we band of brothers. I don't know, get them pumped.
All right. Who's gonna do the honor?
Wait. There's one thing I want to grab. Maybe
There's
I won't be
always
able to.
like a last.
Yeah.
There's always like a last thing, right?
I
Wait.
feel-
I gotta
feel
do
like
this.
I saw another Outlander fragment that might help us
see,
out.
since
So
Kale's putting down some of those sentries. I'm
Oh,
happy
yeah.
about that.
And I like how it's like right downstream here because they're gonna get kind of slowed down on these traps here, and so while they're kind of standing there all kind of dazed, it'll
Okay.
just rip right through them.
I have my defensive fragment, so I'm ready. I can shield up.
As the Outlander, I always do that too. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go grab another fragment. You know?
Yeah.
It's always about that next fragment. They're
He's looking for
Addicted.
a couple sentry spots here.
He really doesn't like that bush right there. It's gonna tear it up.
It's camouflage, right? The Husks will never
They
see
can't
it.
see
back
it.
there. All right.
I'm glad Kale's got
What do
some
you
backup
think?
traps just in case.
You
gotta
feel
replace
good
them.
about it, KO? Like on a
Uh,
scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about this fort and how you guys are gonna do?
3.
A 3?
Wow.
Wow.
No
thought-
confidence.
Did you build this?
If I was the architect behind all of this
Oh,
other
you
stuff,
can't make it
then-
like that.
Oh.
We discussed
Shifting
it. You were on
the
board.
blame.
Wow.
No,
you
it's-
guys
it's-
haven't even lost yet.
Yeah, no, I-
Yeah.
realistic
Preparing to
answer.
shift to the
Realistic
blame.
answer. I'm thinking maybe like a 7.
See, I like the multi-tier
6.
strategy, right? Because basically, if a husk gets flung on top by our flinger enemies, which throw husks, then they kind of have to chew their way down, right? So they can't just
So
get
it'll
right
take
to
some
you.
time.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they could just be collecting up there.
Yeah, and they just come down as one giant group. That
would
actually
be-
that happened to me today.
that would be
Actually,
really
they
bad.
they got collected in an area, and we didn't know they were there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the wall went down, and our base went from full our Atlas went from full health
Yeah.
to like 1/3 health.
And that can happen pretty quickly
Yeah.
if a bunch of them come in at once.
I was
right?
screaming very loudly. I was in my office by myself because it was during lunchtime, so luckily no one had to hear me screaming at the top of my
William
lungs.
Wallace would have done the same thing.
He did. I screamed freedom and just went in with my claymore. So
Didn't it work?
yeah, I mean, ancestors, they protected me.
All right, guys. What do you say? Are we
I'm
ready
good.
to do
Let's do it.
this?
Fire it
Hold
up.
on,
Kale's
supply
like-
drop coming in.
Oh, he's like, I'm gonna get one last thing. I feel like they're not that confident. Every time I ask,
Yeah.
"Are you ready to fire it up?" They don't even respond. They're
Yeah,
just
he
like,
just
"Let me just build this."
He just keeps
a
building.
little more thing. He's a constructor. It's like he doesn't know
I
how
just
to do
saw it.
anything
That's all I do.
This is all I know. So I
just-
skipped
this is my
leg
life.
day. His tiny little legs.
So majestic, this fort. I'm very proud of it.
It's,
Unlike
it's
KL.
pretty amazing looking,
It
I
is
gotta
beautiful.
say. It even looks a little bit like a Coliseum.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thing.
You didn't have confidence in me earlier.
I hope
But is it a Coliseum of Doom?
We're gonna
We're-
find
We're gonna
out.
Yeah.
find out here.
There's so many open doors.
It's leading them to their doom.
Yeah, it's a trap door.
See,
if you will.
the thing that I kind of like about this design, though, is a lot of people have a tendency to build a fort and then go out and fight in front of the fort.
Mhm.
This fort is very inviting to the Husks. So instead of going out to fight, they're going to be able to stand inside and defend, which is going to be pretty cool. Kind of let the traps do a lot of the damage as opposed to
So
having
your
to go out.
confidence level is higher than KL's confidence level.
I'm at about a 6. But
So
all
actually
these
twice
traps-
as confident.
Yeah, all these traps put me at about a 6 3/4.
Okay.
So
Sure.
look,
sure.
I'm just saying, I have a very intricate system
How many
for
more
grading.
how many more traps does he have to put down for it to be a 7?
At least 8.
Okay.
Did we start it?
Yeah, start
yeah,
it.
do it.
We've
We're,
been.
waiting for
waiting
you
for
to
you.
start it.
We're gonna
man.
make you jump off a cliff again.
I'm in position.
Yeah, I think we should. I think
I
we
can't
should
be
make 'em
bothered
do
to
the spin
start
wheel
the
right
Atlas.
as they start. Right as they start. That'll mess them up. Disorient them.
I hope he has to wear an umbrella hat. Usually the constructor starts it. Just saying.
Is that that's a tradition?
That's tradition,
Fine.
because
I'll
they
start
have
it.
to,
I'm ready.
they may have to build their way in to get it and then build their way out, whereas everybody else is out
I
fighting.
usually try to turn
Boom.
on as the ninja and then just get out quickly.
Yeah.
My
And then
ninja
everybody else
moves.
is like, "Why did you do that?" Okay, here we go.
All right. Spin the wheel.
Oh, they all have to dance.
Dance.
You don't have to get together, but you got to dance.
Yes.
Celebrate the beginning.
All right. Here comes the doom.
West.
Oh, there's an Outlander fragment right there in front. That'll be good. Natalie will be able to run down in the middle and get it.
Yes.
Unless it's
I
another
see it.
llama.
Yeah, that would not be helpful.
It's like, hey, a bunch of husks, here's a llama.
Maybe it will distract them.
Something is along that backside.
Yeah, I'm on him. He's getting
So they're
destroyed by my
coming
traps,
from-
though. He doesn't
Oh,
give me.
Oh.
The
looks
traps
like we're
look
hitting
like
some of
they're
these
working.
traps. Let's see how these
Look
work.
at the sentry gun is just chewing them up.
It's already.
There's a fire husk right there.
This already feels a little bit hectic, even just with the regular base husks.
Yeah, so I mean, as you go up in difficulty, the regular base husks, they have a bit more health. They do a bit more damage, so they are more threatening. They're not just fodder. There you see a lobber throwing in lobbing and
Oh,
things.
God.
Oh, there's a blaster just hanging out on a roof over there. He's trying to
Yeah.
get a sniper sight line into you.
There's so many places to defend.
So
Is there a husk that when you see it you're like, oh no?
the blaster,
Yeah.
definitely the blaster, because he's a what we call an assassin.
Yeah.
So his sole purpose is to kill you. He'll ignore the Atlas. The Atlas could be wide open in front of him, and he's going to ignore it to kill you. There's some
God.
frost
Husk
husks.
just got launched right there.
That was pretty awesome.
Got
Got some air on that one.
I noticed the pitcher husk now is a little bit more of an assassin too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the pitcher husk is definitely designed to be more of an assassin character. He can do damage pretty well to the base, but his main goal is to take you out, and he can be pretty frustrating because he's got some good range on him.
I feel like they've started out pretty well here.
Yeah, I think they've got some lucky spawns. You know, it was interesting to see the blaster trying to get in that sniper spot, and he got a little confused up there.
Taker.
Oh,
Oh, there's a
taker.
taker.
What is a
It's
taker?
coming for me.
The taker
No.
is probably the most difficult enemy to take down. Not why he's called the taker, but what he does is he can portal through, and he is trying to just take out one person.
Oh,
He's
and it's
another
gonna be
assassin.
KO. Oh, wow.
Nice
They just
save.
got there.
Oh.
So what he does is he'll basically lift you up and start to suck your soul out. And if your team runs up and kills him before he does that, they can save you. But he'll take out the whole team. I've actually been in a
We
match
have
once where he
blasters
took
like
out the whole
crazy over
team.
here, you guys.
Because we were doing a 3-gate like this, and it was so spread out that we couldn't get to each other.
How are you feeling right now, Natalie?
I'm panicking a little bit. There's like bee husks. There's like an electric one.
Oh, the bee
Oh, remember,
husks.
you've got your fragment.
how many
for whenever it
bees.
gets too
All right,
crazy.
I'm ready for a fragment myself. I'm feeling
Oh,
good.
there
I'm
you see
safe.
the shield going up from Natalie's defensive fragment. Pretty.
I feel like I pressured her.
Watch
and
out,
Yeah.
Flamer
now
Husk
they're not
coming
gonna
over
have it
there.
in
Now
the second half.
they're
of the
gonna
match.
need it here in a bit.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, there's a poison lobber.
Oh, that is bad.
The poison lobber
Oh.
is kind of like a combo. It's going to do damage to your base, but it's also going to try and attack you. And what it does is it launches a poison cloud and does damage, AOE damage. There's also you'll see the big fat husks. You've seen him run across screen a couple times. He does the same thing. He can burp out a poison cloud.
All right,
It's a
we're
good choke
halfway
point right
through,
here.
which feels like a good spin wheel moment for
It
me.
does.
Halfway through defending this thing, it still feels like too easy for me right now.
Okay, has to jump off a cliff again.
Sorry,
Oh
KO.
God.
This
Hope
could-
you weren't
this
doing
could be-
anything
this could
Now
be
important.
we're
clutch.
gonna find out if Natalie regrets writing that on the spin
Yeah.
wheel.
Hold down the fort.
Oh, he's probably been waiting all day to say that.
I know. There's a pitcher husk.
Oh,
Lots
Oh,
of
there's a
flingers.
Flinger.
flinger.
Ah.
Yeah, we took him out though.
Flingers are bad.
Yeah,
I do not like them.
Yeah, and the thing is
Hurt
they're
my
designed
feelings.
to stay away from you. So
Yeah.
what they do is they can grab husks and throw them on top of your base, and
Yeah.
they'll just kind of
If
take
you
it
don't
out.
see them right away, then it's like husks are just collecting up there, and that is bad news.
There's a
Propane
propane
husk.
tank
Hopefully
husk.
that's not what's happening right now.
The cool thing about the
Nice.
propane tank husk is she knocked his
Get out of
propane tank out of his hand, but if you actually hit
Oh
his
my
propane
God.
tank,
It'll
it'll
Spawn.
explode.
right?
And so you can actually use it tactically to
Yeah.
take out
Fireworks,
a bunch
help
of people.
me.
Oh,
there's-
wow.
there's
There
a
you go.
blaster.
See?
I spawned in the middle of them.
You got the proper use of the
Oh,
fireworks.
taken out by the
Oh,
blaster. But the
now-
firework
I
took
need
out
to
the
go back
husker.
up to my balcony.
Natalie has died, but I think KL is back in the action.
No, it spawned me.
I'm coming back,
in a
I'm
very
coming
bad
back.
spot.
Oh, you're not back yet?
No.
This is not easy.
This could be a turning point. We may have just
stay
Well,
away
they've
from me.
got
the
they've
game.
got 2.5 minutes, so
They're not coming to the wall I
Look at
wanted
the-
them to come to.
The husk just flying up in the air down there.
but you know, I think that it still feels like they're doing pretty well.
It does. The husks kind of have only one path in this area, right? So they're trying to get through right here. It's really their only way in, and luckily they kind of put a bunch of traps up. Oh, I love the bounce of the space pistol
Oh,
there. It
wow.
just cleared them out.
Oh, that is amazing.
That was awesome.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that!
nice.
Ah,
What?
I'm on
Oh,
a
look
That
at
was
fire or
ridiculous.
electricity.
Like shooting it off of those angled walls.
It just tore through them.
That is the best.
All right, 1 minute 45 seconds.
I gotta get out of
Oh,
here. Wow.
Owned by
Ah.
the blaster again.
Natalie
That's
has,
two
has
times
died,
the
but
blaster.
that's okay, because we'll spin the wheel. Maybe we can.
Oh God.
Fireworks show.
Sorry,
Oh.
guys. It's time for
That
a
could
firework.
be beneficial.
Everybody
Let's-
drops some
Bring the fireworks.
Hold on. What do I have?
1 minute 20 seconds.
Six.
Kale was
don't
not
drag it.
prepared for the
He's like, I
fireworks
gotta
show.
drag
Oh.
this to my hot bar. We told you this was coming, KL.
No, I don't. I died trying to be,
Little
you know,
firecracker.
Down there.
a fireworks artist here.
I'll tell you, as a kid, I may or may not have played with some M80s, and they're not a toy.
Whoa.
I didn't hear that. All right, so a minute left, and
very
they
bad
haven't
over
taken
here.
any damage.
I feel
You
like
know what? We
they
talked
may
about
have
this.
prepared, pretty
We
awesomely
talked about
for
this before, where it was like, hey, you know, this is going to be pretty difficult. You guys might not make it through, and I feel like they're going to make it through. It's like next time, it's like, do we have to go?
You got to go to
even
the nightmare.
You know, all the way.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any Smasher spawn, so they got lucky there. But everybody else spawned. You know, the other specials, the Taker, the Flinger. I wouldn't be surprised if right now there's a bunch of AI on top trying to chew their way down, but they're not going to be able to make it down in time
Not 20 seconds.
Because it was too Coliseum of Doomy.
Yeah. Get away.
It was a good strategy.
10 seconds, and it was.
I will say this: I expected to fight up top a lot more than we ended up doing. Let's see.
It's almost like the original Dream Team, right? Where it's like, hey, bring all these great players together. What if they can't work together because they're all superstars?
Yeah.
And you bring all on the same team, and then they just.
Proved. Maybe they should work together in real life.
Great job.
Maybe
Great
that's the
job.
thing.
Good job, everybody.
All right, we're going to bring you guys back over here and talk about it.
Kale, can you bring
let's talk
the
about what
umbrella hat with you?
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like that's not a bad idea.
I feel
actually.
like we should get the rest of these wearables in here.
There's a mohawk if you want to try the mohawk.
You should.
I can do a mohawk. This is even the color I would dye my mohawk.
Next time we should just
Feel-
make the whole spin wheel hats.
I feel a little bit out of place. I feel underdressed right now.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do.
Sorry, just gotta make sure it's.
Let's do a serious recap of of what just happened here.
Sure.
So I'm gonna start with you, Kale, first because you had no confidence at all in the base that you built, and you gave it a 3 out of 10. How do you feel afterwards? Are you willing to take some credit now for doing well?
Yeah, I think all of the designs that I put in onto the base, adding my finishing touches, were the deciding factor in the base.
I can't even look at him.
Is it because of the ridiculous things he's saying, or how ridiculous he looks right now?
Part of it is because it matches the spin wheel.
Can we spin?
It's like he's got a spin wheel on his head. Oh wow!
It doesn't work.
I
Wow.
feel like I should
I feel like you would actually wear that in real
I
life,
wanna
though.
pull my pockets out right now, like the kids do in 2015.
All right, learning new things.
Okay, what do you think? How did it work out?
I would say that Coliseum is not as functional as I thought. Maybe I really want to figure out how to make it work for the
worked,
future.
though.
It did work, but I will say that he totally blocked my ability to use it functionally with his But I enjoyed them. The panels that allowed me to space pistol off of everything and melt faces. But yeah, you totally blocked my ability to shoot off of the balconies that I built.
That's why I
Thank you
put-
for
I
that.
put
I only
floors-
spent half an hour on those, so don't worry about it.
I put floors on the second level because I knew that those would block, and then I just stood over top and shot down.
You gotta watch
At
that
least
sometimes.
somebody used height as an advantage in this, but I didn't get to the way that I hoped. So.
I can't
But it was
decide-
beautiful. It was majestic.
I can't decide for next time whether I want them together on the same team or if they should be competing again.
I feel
I mean,
like it's
let me know.
obvious.
Let us know. Fortnite game on Twitter. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Let us know. Are they better as a team? Is it better to have them compete? I feel like
Just
it's
tear
been
'em
both
apart or put
times it
'em
was
together.
too easy for them.
Next time he can decide the
Next time
overall.
I'm not gonna. I'm
Oh.
just gonna. If we work together, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna build things that help the fort. We're just going to build my
Wow.
little perimeter around
That
the
doesn't
bases,
seem like
around the
helping.
gates. No, because she had her outside perimeter with the open walls,
He's just
and
gonna
then I
load with it.
added.
That's what he's saying.
I added the perimeter defenses, and that's what was the deciding factor.
So what you're saying is Natalie's was kind of okay, but you made it better by ruining her ability to use hers the way that she wanted to.
Yes,
basically.
that is what
Hmm.
happened, and it happened without me ever seeing it until I was already fighting things.
Exactly.
I
It's
know
too
of
late.
some players in OT3 that could show you guys a few things about working together as a
Yeah.
team.
You should check out the forums. I think there's some handy tips there.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. That was interesting. That was interesting today. We will be back in 2 weeks, same time, same place. Next week, if anybody happens to be at VidCon in Anaheim, a few of us are going. Kale, Natalie, and I are going to be there. If you happen to be out that way, hit us up, tweet us. We're going to bring some Fortnite LA Storm Chasers shirts with us. And if you can find us, we've probably got one for you. So we'll see you again in 2 weeks, and have a good day.
Bye.
See ya.